Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know, I'm Cara, and I'm taking over the BMPD social media accounts this week. And today I'm having a discussion with Jean-Sébastien Marier about data storytelling. So JS, thank you for taking the time to do this with me.
My pleasure.
So you're teaching our second year course, MPAD 2003, Intro to Data Storytelling, but that's only a small part of your career. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so I'm actually a graduate of Carleton University's Master of Journalism program. I graduated back in 2011, and I've been working in the media industry since then. I started as a summer intern for Radio Canada in Sudbury, and then I was hired by the Ottawa newsroom, and for about 2.5 years, 3 years, I was kind of shared by the Ottawa newsroom and the Sudbury newsroom, so moving back and forth. And then I ended up joining the web team in Ottawa. And shortly after that, I was hired by the University of Ottawa to teach introductory data journalism and digital journalism courses, which turned into kind of a quasi full-time gig. And I was also hired by Carleton University to teach introductory data storytelling. So I like to think that my career so far has been with one foot in the media industry and one foot in academia, which really allows me to make perhaps decisions when working in the field or in newsroom that are grounded in best practices based on research and science. And on the flip side, when I am teaching in the classroom, some of my decisions, some of my pedagogical approaches are inspired by what I learn on a daily basis in a newsroom environment. So it's been quite rewarding so far.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of data storytelling, a lot of sort of different aspects of it. How would you describe data storytelling?
The title says it all and doesn't say much at the same time. So data storytelling to me is, at its core is storytelling. And once you are proficient as a storyteller, you can use different resources to enhance your storytelling and to find information and ideas. Data is one of them. So data storytelling, in a nutshell, is to take data sets and to turn them into meaningful, factual stories to convey a message. And you can convey messages to a variety of audiences. But at its core, data storytelling stays relatively the same. You take data, you analyze data, you understand what your data set is telling you. You make informed decisions as to what it is that you want to convey as your message or messages, and then you present the data with charts, graphs, and maps that are interesting, engaging, easy to understand. But generally speaking, your charts, maps, and whatnot won't be alone. You will either do a presentation, a video, you'll write a report to accompany your data visualizations in order to tell a full story.
Yeah, the story aspect, I think, is definitely what makes that pretty special. What is sort of the importance of telling a story as opposed to just giving people data that's available?
The main difference, in my opinion, between, simply looking at raw data and doing data storytelling is that as data storytellers, we act as kind of a buffer or translators, where we look at the data, clean it up, understand it, and interpret it, translate it for our intended audience or audiences. And you need to find the best way to convey your message based on the people it is that you want to reach.
Yeah, so what would you say makes a good data-driven story?
A good data-driven story needs to be factual. We're not in the business of making up stories. We are in the business of telling factual stories. So you need to look at the data. You need to be good at math. And I'm not saying here that you need advanced math, but you should be able to understand basic ratios, stats, how to calculate an average, the difference between the mean, the median, and the mode, basic stuff like that. And you should be curious. I'd say that's the key. It's quite easy to teach most people how to do basic coding, data extraction, how to look at a data set and calculate the average, compare two columns. It's rather technical. We can teach that to most people. What will really set you apart is your curiosity. Are you able to look at a data set and identify potential trends, story ideas? And that, to me, is what really matters.
Yeah, that's a great answer. What advice would you have for people in our program, for example, or other students who are interested in data visualization and data storytelling?
My main advice would be to never stop learning. Data storytelling, or storytelling, journalism in general, is evolving quite rapidly with new technology. So you can learn the nuts and bolts in a university environment. That's what we do in MPAD 2003 with basic coding and data extraction skills. We look at tools like OpenRefine to clean up your data, and then you learn how to create basic charts and maps. But there is much more to learn beyond that. So I would say that a good data storyteller is also someone who's able to build a toolbox and to use the proper tools to build whatever project they're working on. So you are like a carpenter. You have your toolbox and you need to choose the best hammer to build, whether you're working on a shed or a house, you might use slightly different tools. The basic skills are the same, but you need to be able to think critically and you need to be able to find extra resources. So my best advice is to remain curious and to always try to learn something new. And that doesn't only apply to data storytelling. I'd say it applies to everything you learn in university, is to see your university education, 3 or 4 years, as just the beginning. Never stop learning, never stop exploring, and that will really set you apart in a work environment as well, because employers will notice, whether you're an employee who's good at whatever it is that they do, but does the bare minimum required, versus an employee who's always trying to learn new ways of doing things and finding new ways of conveying the message.
Thank you so much for sharing your perspective and your experience in data storytelling with us. I know I learned a lot just from this conversation, and I hope those of you watching did as well.